Alright, I'm back. This is, I don't know, part 4, part 3, I'm not sure, but let's continue going through the decks, shall we? This is the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. I absolutely adore this fucking deck. Excuse my French. I have gotten some really good readings out of this. Look at that Eight of Swords. Out of this deck. It's a collage deck. Chris Ann is awesome. She's just... this deck just gives new meaning to, like, even how I look at the cards and stuff like that. And I just appreciate the colors. I appreciate... The only thing is this. That I think it's the Queens or the Kings. I forget. The Muse, I think, is the Kings. They're this way instead of this way. What is that? Horizontal. But other than that, this was one of the very first decks that I got in my collection, and it's not going anywhere. It's just such a beautiful deck, and I love reading with this deck. So it shuffles amazingly. I don't like do any of the modifications to decks, like edging them or anything like that, but that is the Muse Tarot. Safe, not going anywhere. Another amazing... I love Y-Spell decks. This is the Wild Reflection. And you know what? I actually recently saw a comparison of this deck next to the Light Seers. Look at that strength card. And they have a very similar feel. And I just love modern decks like this, where the artwork is just showing people in their natural shit. So, this is an amazing deck. I love it. It's very like, you don't really need the Light Seers deck and this deck because they have a very similar feel. This one, I will say, is more like, it has more nods to like Native American culture, and I do love that. See? But this deck was compared to the Light Seers in a video, and this deck that I have. I always forget the name of this deck. It's always on the tip of my tongue. This deck that I've shown you guys already. What the fuck is the name of this deck? Oh my god. Unfolding Path. The Unfolding Path. And they're all very similar vibes. So, yeah. This is the Wild Reflections. There it is. Wild Reflections Tarot. And I love it. Not going anywhere. Look at that. The Gilded Tarot Royale by Ryder Marse. This is your typical, like, Llewellyn cardstock, but I do love this deck, and I love reading with it. Again, one of the first decks that I received in my collection. Let me move my light a little. There we go. This deck is beautiful. I love Ryder Marse. I love his artwork. But I don't have all of his decks. There are people out there who will literally, like, die for this man. I'm a fan, but not a fanatic. this is one of my favorite decks of his. I want to say one or two others. I love just the vibrant colors, and again, the deck is your typical Llewellyn cardstock, so it shuffles nicely. I like Llewellyn cardstock. Some people hate it. I don't mind it. And I love this little box that it comes in. It's a nice compact deck to take around and read with. And yeah, I'm not getting rid of that. Another Y spell deck. Actually, you know what? I'll save that. Another classic Aquarian Tarot. I love this deck. I think this has got a limited color palette. Very 70s. This is one of those like 60s, 70s classic decks that I was talking about, that I said I'd point out. It's the Aquarian Tarot, the Morgan Greer Tarot, which I don't think I've shown you guys yet, and the Hanson Roberts. Those are like the three. Oh, and the Robin Wood, I think. Those are the four like 70s decks. I have this in the mini version as well, that I'm not going to show you guys because that would just be fucking redundant. But that is the Aquarian Tarot. And oh, these are the backs. It's like scaly fishies. Don't really have much to say about this deck. I feel like I like it because it's a classic, to be quite honest. Not because I necessarily enjoy reading with it. The Golden Universal Tarot. This one I'm just going to go through quickly because I just love Ryder Smith decks, but I love that this has the gold foil. I like shiny things. Pretty sure this is Lo Scarabeo. But yeah, it shuffles nicely. Just another deck to beat the shit out of. Oh, look, the lovers popped out. We love to see it. Golden Universal Tarot. This one is now on Kickstarter, I believe. I bought this off of Make Playing Cards. It's the Sawyer Redux edition of the 1909 RWS by Jamie Sawyer. And she's got this deck on Kickstarter. I just don't feel the need to back it because I have this version and I'm okay with that. I love it. She's got little, if you look really closely, you can see in the background. I don't know if y'all can see it. You can see in the background, you can't see it because this thing isn't focusing, but she's drawn, there it is, she's drawn the planets and different symbols in the background that you can find. There's like little Easter eggs in this deck, and I love it. I love it a lot. Look, Pisces and Venus. So she subtly puts the you know, astrological sign in the background and the planet that the card corresponds with. So it's a good deck if you also are into like astrology as well. Like I said, she's printing this right now on, like, she's funding right now on Kickstarter, I believe, this same deck. I just don't feel the need to back it because here I've had this one. I like the cardstock. There's nothing about the deck that I don't like. This is now one of my newest acquisitions. And I say one of because I've gotten a few in recently. It's the Ryder Marse tarot deck by Aquarian Tarot. The there he is. That is the illustrator, Alejandro Rozan. I love this deck. Linen cardstock. This deck really, like, ties together the Marse. I don't have any Marse decks. This is good enough for me. I have no interest, to be quite honest, in reading Marse. But this deck ties it in, and I appreciate it. And this deck has been, so far, it's linen cardstock. I love it. And it's been reading really well for me. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just an amazing love child of the Marse and RWS. And like I said, I have no desire to read Marse. So this just does it enough to kind of pique my interest a little bit and give me the art style and, you know, without actually reading Marse. So that's that. That is the Ryder Marse by Aquarian Tarot. And it's easily become one of my favorites out of all of my newest decks. So I'm going to put that there. I have this one, the Classic Tarot by Barbara Moore. Oh, did I show you guys this one? I think I did. The deck's not in here. I think I have. I did show you guys this one. My bad. Well, that's the box. It's by Barbara Moore. I've showed you guys that, I think, in the first part 1 of this video. So you can look back and reminisce if you want. Moving right along. More Y spell. This Starlight Tarot comes in 2 editions, the blue edition, and I think it's the gold edition. I have no interest in the gold edition. I am very satisfied with this blue one, and this is my aesthetic completely. I love it. It is wonderful. It's got like modern faces and people. And I just love like decks like this that have a limited color palette when it's done right. Look at this sun card. How cute. The moon. So you get the gist. I love the way the people look in the deck. It's just very aesthetically pleasing. So this is, oh, Gilded edges. That's the backs. This is the Starlight. This is one of my more recent purchases. Starlight Tarot, blue edition. Love it. And another one of my most recent acquisitions is the Find Your Magic Tarot. I fell in love with this deck when I saw it on YouTube. And I'm not as in love with it in person, I'm not gonna lie. But I will be keeping it. Maybe I won't, I don't know. This one I might return. I'm gonna have to see how I feel. I just feel like it's not... You ever get a deck that you're really excited about and then it comes in and you're like, oh, that was it? Like, I love the artwork. I don't know, I think it's just that the artwork just, it feels blurry to me for whatever reason. I'm gonna have to play with it and work with it and see what kind of reading I really, like, get. I enjoy it, don't get me wrong. The artwork is gorgeous. There's something about it that, like, I'm not connecting with it. So, this is to be determined. We shall see how I feel. And if anything, I'll either give this deck away or return it. So that is the Find Your Magic Tarot. This one, the Moon Crystal Tarot, this is an indie deck based off of, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's based off of Sailor Moon. The Sailor Moon show, the anime. And I love this deck. I have not really, I wasn't really a fanatic of Sailor Moon. I just love the artwork. I love the feel of this deck. I saw another YouTube creator, like, reading with this deck, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta have it. Shuffles nicely, and it reads nicely as well. It's beautiful. And it's a clone, really, just with Sailor Moon characters. So, gilded edges. These are what the backs look like. This was an expensive purchase for me. I think to date, this is probably one of the more expensive decks that I've purchased in my collection. This deck cost me $100. I think the most expensive deck that I've bought, you guys will see, was probably like 130, maybe 140. Might have been the Oracle of Echoes. This is the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany. And I love all the decks that Ethany puts out. I don't want to say all. I love most of the decks that Ethany puts out. This is one of them. Look at that Judgment. I wish I just... Three of Wands. I can't wait for her... I think it's the Luminous Flow Tarot. Look at that Fool. Can't wait for that one to come out. I backed that one on Kickstarter. I just love her people. Like, the way her people look. It's gonna focus. Whoop. just zoomed in. I don't know how to make that focus. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. I enjoy it. So, these are the backs. It's the edges. Cosmic Wisdom Tarot. I like the guidebook too because I'm not normally one to show guidebooks, but she made it seem like it's written, like, you know, like it's a journal. Very enjoyable deck. This one is the Gold and Black edition. I probably have not read with this deck in over 2 years, I would say. And I probably won't reach for it, but I'm not getting rid of it. It's one of those decks that I just enjoy having in my collection for the sake of having. Who doesn't love black and gold together? So, just your run-of-the-mill RWS. It kind of shuffles a little bit wonky. Cardstock isn't the best, but it has served its purpose in my collection. And who knows, maybe I will get the itch for this deck again. I just know I'm not getting rid of it. So let me undo that. There you go. What else do we got? What else do we got? Spellcasters. I love this deck. Actually, I should be using this one right now. It's a very like fall vibes deck for me. I love the artwork. It's a Llewellyn cardstock type deck. Very like pagan-y type deck. And I enjoy it. Well, I don't know what just happened, but that's the Spellcasters Tarot. I don't know where the guidebook went for this deck. Oh, right here. Let's put it back in its place. Spellcasters. The Royale. I bought this deck very early on in my collection when I was, you know, just starting out. And I used this deck, the full deck is not here right now, because I use this deck for my monthly readings. This is one of those decks. I use this deck, the Thoth Tarot, and the New Voice Tarot, I think it is. You guys will see it. For my monthly reading. So basically, at the beginning of the year, I took 12 envelopes. Well, at the end of December, I took 12 envelopes, shuffled each deck, pulled a card from each deck for each month of the year. So every month, on the first of the month, I pull out an envelope and I have a 3-card reading from this deck and 2 others. Just because I figured I wanted to get to know this deck a little bit better. And spend some time with it, and I figured this would be a good way to like slow down. Look at that Queen of Cups. The artwork is beautiful. It kind of goes its own way. These are the backs. I'm not getting rid of this deck. I just need to spend a little bit more time with it. Marielle. This one, to be quite honest, I have like a love-hate relationship with the Wild Unknown Tarot. Again, this was another deck that I purchased. What's with the boxes within the boxes? I don't understand. This is another deck that I purchased without realizing what my aesthetic was very early on in my collection. And I did love it at first, but it hasn't gotten much usage. I enjoy the card stock a lot. I'm not really an animal deck type person. Three of Pentacles. I think now I would probably appreciate it more being not a novice reader. Yeah, it's very animal-y. And I did. I mean, I read with this deck. But you know, it didn't like blow me away. There are people out here who are like obsessed with this friggin' deck. And again, maybe I need to take more time with it, or maybe it's just not my aesthetic. I know I am gonna keep it. I'm not gonna even put it into like my little basket. Just because. Let's do a reading real quick with it, shall we? Yeah, see? Page of Swords. AKA, you gotta be more inquisitive. Get to know me, learn me, understand me better. I kind of was feeling that. So, yeah, I'm not getting rid of it because I know I will eventually want to, like, really dive deep into this deck. But I just feel like for me it's going to take a little bit of time. You know? So, Wild Unknown. I'm not going to say I love this deck because that would probably be a lie. I don't know how I feel about it yet. To be determined. All I know is I need to explore it a little bit better. Because, like the packaging, there's probably different layers to this fucking deck that I haven't explored. That's it so far, right now, for me. This was a quick one. I really should be doing like 45-50 minute videos if I want to ever get through this pile of decks that I have, but I'm going slow and steady. I'm going at my own pace, okay? So this was part 3 or 4, I'm not sure. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one.